Do you live in a pharmacy desert? All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to A Fresh Perspective with Jeff Charles, where we prefer truth over narrative and principles over politics. And today we're diving into the issue of pharmacy closures and how they're leaving people in what's being called pharmacy deserts. It's another example of how government meddling, overregulation, and corporate favoritism hurts the very people that they're supposed to help. So let's go ahead and get into this real quick. So let's talk about pharmacy deserts. I read an article on USA Today that discussed this issue. Uh, this issue happened in Antwerp, Ohio, when a pharmacy, a small pharmacy, closed. It wasn't just a loss for the business, it left a small community of about 1,600 people without local access to medications. So imagine this, you're a woman named Candace Pigeon, who's detailed in this article. She's a pharmacy tech who just lost her job. And now instead of walking to her pharmacy, you've got to drive about 22 miles to pick up your prescriptions. It's frustrating. And it's becoming all too common as more and more pharmacies close, leaving rural and poor communities high and dry. Now, I live in a rural area and I know what that's like because if I wanted to get to my nearest pharmacy, it would take me probably about 20, 25 minutes. It's not horrible, but I have a car. I can drive there. I can go get it. So what's really going on here? Why are these pharmacies closing? Well, for one, these smaller pharmacies are struggling to stay afloat because government programs like Medicare and Medicaid are killing them softly, just like the song. These programs, they reimburse pharmacies at lower rates than private insurance does. Now, this might sound like a good deal for taxpayers, but it's not. It's not great for small businesses that can't afford to keep the lights on because they're being shortchanged. And guess who's being hit hardest by this? Yeah, you guessed it. Rural and poor communities that rely on these small mom and pop pharmacies. So if you think about it, half of US counties are already have at least one pharmacy desert, meaning that there's no pharmacy within 10 miles. For people without cars, especially the elderly, this is a huge problem, right? And it's not like CVS and Walgreens are in every small rural community. And a lot are closing down because of concerns about crime, shoplifting, especially in places like California and New York. They're closing a lot of these locations, which is making the problem worse. So it's not just the government, although I guess it kind of is a government because they're taking a very soft approach to property crime, which is forcing a lot of these businesses to close down. So when it comes to people who are being affected by these pharmacy deserts, they're being forced to delay or even skip their medications. And we're not just talking about pills. People rely on pharmacies to get vaccinations or basic hygiene products. When these pharmacies close, the community doesn't just lose a place to get their medication, it loses a lifeline. Let's not forget the role of these corporate middlemen called pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs for short. These organizations decide where patients can get their prescriptions and how much pharmacies get paid for them. So surprise, surprise, big corporations like CVS and Walgreens get better deals while the little guys get shafted. That's why we see these big chains dominating the market and independent pharmacies are struggling to survive. Regulation is also an issue. If these closures aren't happening just because these pharmacies are bad at business. They're happening because the government and its crony capitalist buddies have rigged the system against them. Small pharmacies are drowning in regulations that make it harder to compete with the big boys. So when even everything from drug dispensing to security, these rules are time consuming and costly for small businesses. While big chains, they're in a position to where they can just throw money at the problem and keep it moving. So what do we do about this as consumers, as the little guy, as regular people? For starters, the government needs to repeal a lot of these regulations. They got to repeal, I mean, probably almost all of them. Maybe there might be a few that are valid, but repealing these regulations would give smaller pharmacies a fighting chance to compete and to serve their communities. Let the free market work. More competition means better prices, more innovation, and more access to care. And while we're at it, why not expand health savings accounts? Let people decide where they want to spend their healthcare dollars instead of letting insurance companies or the government tell them what to do. The more flexibility we give to consumers, the less they'll be stuck in this mess of big government and big business controlling their healthcare. Remove the caps on healthcare savings accounts. Let people put as much money in it as possible so that the consumer has more control over where they go. Get rid of the regulations, give people more control. That's what's going to solve a lot of the problems that we're having with healthcare in general, but especially when it comes to pharmacy closures and the creation of new pharmacy deserts. All right, what do you guys think? I kept that short. So, what do y'all think? Let me know. That's it for today. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And if you like what you heard, and I know you did, make sure you slam that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe. Subscribe like it's democracy on the line or something like that. Also, check out my Substack. It's called Chasing Liberty. You can access that at libertychasers.com. Become a subscriber, support my work. I highly appreciate it. And you won't get any of those cat memes because I don't do cat memes. I just do liberty. All right? Cool. So until next time, stay free, stay principled, and most importantly, stay ungovernable.